Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Arrogant. So you may have seen my previous video when I went over the Watler companion, how it actually got essentially nerfed by reducing its deflect down from the full 7.5% deflect down to a split of movement speed and deflect, and this was in effect due to the removal of the Watler's bonus giving the double amount of adventuring accreditation gain from Portobello's campaign, and with the vaulting of these campaigns, you can see they're no longer even viewable here. That bonus became pointless, so they thought to replace it with movement speed, but actually what they did was just reducing the deflect that it originally gave and added movement speed on top of that, which meant us tanks felt pretty peeved as we were getting a hit with our defensive stats, losing out on 3.75% deflect. The movement speed, sure, it's nice as a movement speed companion, but we originally upgraded this companion for the defensive stats like deflect, and thus it's quite annoying when they come and just change your build like that, and now I would want to choose something else that would give full defensive stats for extra survivability. And now be warned though, they are selling this companion in the Wonders Bazaar, and it's probably not cheap on the auction house at this point because the price here is 750 base astral diamonds, and it does state there in that it's going to give movement speed. Just watch out for that. It's not. It's going to be reverted back. Wow, this is a first for them. We can see their announcement here on Twitter that they said a recent update to the Watler companion changed its player bonus, and they will be reverting it back to 7.5% deflect in the future patch, and they appreciate the community feedback. Now, somebody did bring up kind of a valid point, how there may definitely have been some people who would have bought it for the movement speed just recently, and I'm putting out this video mainly to warn you not to buy it for the movement speed because they will be reverting it. You can see both these posts. They're going to revert it back. In my opinion, what they should do is leave it with the extra movement speed, but add back the deflect. So overall, the companion, sure, it will give a little bit more stats than the rest of the companions, but it's not like there aren't other exceptions out there, and movement speed isn't a game changer. Sure, there are some points where stacking movement speed can be beneficial to avoid certain mechanics and also to run away from ads. Sure, but 3.8% isn't going to make such a big deal, and at this point you've kind of made a bit of a mess up, Cryptic Studios, and if you're listening, I would again recommend not peeving off both parties. We do have these guys here who would have bought it for the advertised movement speed just recently, and then you would have these guys here like us tanks who, yes, were definitely peeved off with the loss of the deflect going down to the 3.75%. And yes, you are right to accommodate those people who would have upgraded previously, more so than the people who would buy it for the movement speed, since that's only a very recent change. Now with that controversy aside, again, it's going to be changed back to its original form, which is great for me as my tank, means I don't have to look for a different companion. And again, just a quick tip with the Day of the Dungeon Master event, there's so many different things you can do with this. You see all of these 3 different dungeons, and we'll be getting additional ones throughout the next following weeks, but you only really have to do very little in this event to obtain all of its rewards. You'll simply every day pick the quest up from Da Vinci here, and this will give you this Cobalt cash. You can head back in here, and then we just queue up to one of these Portobello dungeons. You can pick your fancy, but for my recommendation, I do not recommend choosing Rock Falls. It's a bit long. Trial of Trap seems to be overall the most straightforward one, and generally you're going to get through it much quicker. And overall, these dungeons are fairly straightforward. You just gotta, again, kill ads and continue along your sparkly line. You go and just jump through these traps and they shouldn't be able to hit us, but if they do, you'll end up in those spikes. And we can unlock our campfire and kill these ads. Just watch out for the big dice in this one. They will really knock you over, as you can see there. Might not kill you, but heavy damage. You can just tuck in behind them here and kill the ads. Wait for the next dice to roll. Our next campfire and our next group of ads. We are lucky to get a healer and a tank in our group. It's generally rare since this is considered a skirmish, and generally you'll get anybody in your queue. You might get all DPS. Depending on your DPS with this rider, it should go pretty smoothly. Just if she has this shield marker on her, you can bring her to one of these runes to cause your party to deal a bit more damage. You can see she shrinks in size as well. Each time she goes to one of those runes, she loses the buff ability. and then continue down this hallway. Just don't be fooled by these, you cannot go out onto the table. And we go to fight our last boss. Ouch, that hurt. But that's him melted down pretty fast, and then you're pretty much done your contribution for the day to this event. Again, it's just another one of those appointment events. Not much you really have to do. You can do the bare minimum of participation and essentially get your participation tokens by handing back in the quest to Flabbergast. You get that cash and you get your 2 tokens, and that's your daily credit finished. You can see that here, the day of the Dungeon Master. We have now completed 2 days. You want to be getting to that 14th day, so your bar will progress along, and once you get to the 14th, you'll get this token of achievement, and from there you can then get tokens of challenge as long as the event lasts up to a maximum of 7 then. And those are all then spent in this store here, and don't worry if you don't want to spend them during this event, you can keep those currency and save them up for the next event. For example, you will need 5 events to, let's say, get this Beholder personal tank or the Staldorf. As a new player, I would highly recommend picking up Staldorf. His equip power has combat advantage there at 7.5%. I don't know why it's showing a tooltip error. You can use him as summon, but he's pretty trolly and doesn't do much damage. Otherwise, the other options there are not too great. Like a legendary mount, you ideally want a mythic one. You could get the Golden Warhorse and upgrade it, or the Beholder tank and upgrade it if you so wished. You get plenty of tokens here as the rewards. We're getting 2 participation tokens per day, so that's 5 upgrade tokens per day. That's pretty neat, and over the course of this event you'll definitely get enough tokens to upgrade a companion at least. Anyway, pretty cool to see that yes, they are indeed listening to the community somewhat, if not me maybe, and have decided they're going to revert back the change on the Watler companion. So again, I'd like to give a massive thank you to all of my channel members for helping me keep my channel going, and if I presented this well, consider leaving the video a like. If you're new around here, consider subscribing. We'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.